Hey everybody, this is Danny. We'll be doing some ethical hacking and cybersecurity research. Today we'll be looking at Hack the Box Knife. This is a retired box. First we'll start off with in-map enumeration, in which we'll identify that port 80 is open. Next we'll take a look at the PHP version that's running on that. In this case, the website is running on a backdoored version of PHP 8.1.0. We'll go ahead and fire away our exploit. Once we fire away our exploit, we'll get a reverse shell, and next we'll exploit a binary with GTFO bins for privsec. A pseudo misconfiguration is then exploited to gain a root shell. Here's the attack chain. First we'll exploit the vulnerable service, PHP backdoor. Next we'll gain our initial exploit, which is of course going to be that PHP backdoor, and we'll get the rev shell. And then we'll go ahead and do some enumeration in which we'll find a vulnerable misconfigured Python binary, which will allow us to privilege escalate. That's the attack chain. Let's get started.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Like I mentioned, we're going to first run and make sure that we set up our whole environment here. So you can go ahead and open up a terminal, and then you could rename the session. So I renamed mine to lhost. That's the ton0 host once I connect to the VPN. And then I could change the color here to blue. This is my box. Then we have the R host, which is the same for all of us. So that should be 10.10.10.242. And then we'll go ahead and run this sudo nmap command and save the contents to the knife nmap file. We'll quickly identify that port 80 is running here. And we can see that's running Apache. Now, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and open up burp, and you can just open up burp. And once you have it open, you'll see this. You go ahead and click on the browser, go to the page, and you can see the page here. All right. Once you go to the page and you're intercepting the communications, you'll go here and see that the PHP version for this is showing up as the response here. So it says it's PHP 8.1.0 dev. All right, so doing a quick Google search of that version of PHP, we can see that it has a backdoor here. So we'll go ahead and come here and copy and clone that. So you can go to this page, or you can just Google it and look for Flatus 101, and then you'll find that. Then we'll go here to our exploit section. You can see I read Durabuster, but I didn't really see much except for the index.php. Ran Nikto, didn't see much either. And then I found the exploit, so then I went ahead and did a git clone. I'll just do it here. But we're gonna do a sudo git clone. So once you clone it, you can just enter that directory like I'm doing here, cd into it, ls, and you'll see that there's a few files here. We're interested in the rev shell PHP because that will allow us to get a rev shell. So what you can do is you're just going to go ahead and type in this. So this is Python 3 rev shell, the URL, so HTTP :// 10.10.10.10.242. Then you're going to type in your attacker IP address, and that's just why we do this in the beginning. It makes it easier. So that's the lhost there. So that would be mine, but yours would be whatever comes out of your 10.0 config. Then you'll go ahead and type in the listening port, and we'll go ahead and before we fire this off, go ahead and open up a netcat listener. I'll go ahead and exit this. All right, so go ahead and run my netcat listener. So this will run the netcat listener, and it will have an interactive bash. So once we do get that connection, it will be much better than the regular one. Go ahead and run it, and once you run it, you can see we have a connection. So if we do a print working directory, we can see we're in the root directory, and we want to go cd home and ls to find that James is the only user. So we'll go into his directory here, ls, and we can see the users.txt. So cat user.txt, and that should get you your flag. I can't do it here because that'll violate their policy. But once you do that, then we're going to be looking to privilege escalate. In order to privilege escalate, we're going to have to look for the full path to a binary as root. All right, so let me go ahead and ls. All right, get that. Sudo-l. And we can see that user bin knife is a command we can run as root. So looking at GTFO bins, you can see that there is a directory here. So GTFO bins, knife. And you can see that they have one here for sudo. So we need to run this. Now, we can do here is simply sudo knife exe and then run that. Right, that should open up the file here. Then we'll go ahead and copy this command here. And this is again from GTFO bins. We do that, should have a root. All right, so we're having some issues with that. No worries, we'll run this command instead. I'm just gonna break out of this. Run this, rerun the exploit. Get my ref shell, come here, sudo knife, exe. So knife is a program that allows you to run certain commands. This will go ahead and run a shell as root. And we're root. So now we'll go ahead and cd /root dot right ls, and you can cat the root.txt file. I won't do that, but that's a wrap up of the video. And let's go ahead and stop sharing now. Stop sharing. All right. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much. Danny, out.